Hey, it's Cecil, and it's Thursday, and I am here with a 3-in-1 build. There is, in fact, a reason for it, and I've kind of talked about this, but it's been months. I don't think I've posted anything since October. Like, tragically, I think that jack-o'-lantern was the last thing I posted. Um, it's it definitely is not what killed me, I promise. It definitely it made mm, it took a lot of my will to live to make that build, but it was so funny and so worth it. But no, there's just been a lot going on. Obviously, living in the United States is what it is right now, but also just like personally, I've just not been doing good. So that's where we're at. But I okay, I do, before we get into why there's 3 builds in one video, let's kind of backtrack. Um I do have the more serious build that I was going to put out. I had redone Vlad's mansion and I had used a few more packs. It was still pre life and death, so there's none of that. But there's like the castle estate, and I think I used some paranormal stuff and just all in all, redid it. Also with the vampires stuff still. But I redid it. I remade it. I made it scary for good reasons. I don't know. I really like it. I also had kind of had an autism moment on the vampire lore. Even though it's not reflected in the actual gameplay, there is like some information about it, which is really interesting. And I wanted to like bring that through in the story. So I will be posting that eventually. There's just some other builds that we're going to get through first. So yeah, but right now we are building a family home in Tomarang. It is for a mom, a dad, and their 2 daughters who are close in age. One has just become a young adult, the other is in her last few days, well, few weeks, whatever, of high school. So the dad is from Sulani, and the mom is from Tomarang, sorry, and that is where they live now. I love building in the For Rent world, by the way. It is so pretty. Like, oh, the vibes are immaculate. I love it so much. And I love all the build stuff from For Rent. It's so pretty. It's so good. Ugh. Anyways, The Sims has had some just good packs recently. I wish For Rent wasn't as broken as it is. But yeah, so we're building a family home, trying to get 3 bedrooms in there. I think I succeed, but we will find out. um, 3 bedrooms, some office space, you know. And I'm building on that off the grid lot, but I did remove the off the grid lot challenge because we don't have time to be worried about that right now. We simply do not. But huh, I I had sort of started conceptualizing this idea almost a year ago now, but haven't been able to follow through with it because of so much going on in my broken little brain. Where I want to form a sort of storytelling type series. Some of my favorite things to just like watch are English Simmer when she's doing just like a storyline as she plays through a pack type of thing. And I don't necessarily want to play through a pack. There's obviously just some new features I would like to play with, or not even necessarily new anymore, but like features that I just haven't really touched in a long time that I would like to delve deeper into. And I want to do that through like a rotational household story type of thing. You know what I mean? So, for those who don't know, rotational playing is when you have multiple households within a save file that you rotate between. Pretty much what it says on the tin. And I kind of want to take that sort of route. And so I have these 2 families, and I have the ways that their stories intermingle to make it make sense to have all of them in there. But I want to sort of go back and play a little bit with university, not because I've neglected it per se, but because I just miss it. I'm always thinking about her. it's Discover University. I really do like that pack. I think they did an amazing job with it. And I say that as someone who like was not sure about it when they first announced it, but I actually do quite like it. Um but I want to play with University some. I want to obviously delve into Love Struck and relationship dynamics and romantic satisfaction and, just kind of like play with that. Obviously, we've got the bucket lists from Life and Death to play with. There's parts of high school years that would be fun to play with. I haven't really done any of the teen aspirations all the way through, I don't think. So that could be a fun thing to explore. And just enjoying the new stuff that has come out in recent years, I think could be a lot of fun. So I've got these two families with young adults who are going into their first year of university, and they're going to different universities, but they're living on a townhouse in that like middle section of Brightchester. Um so they each have their side which is closer to their respective university. And yeah, but I wanted to play with their families as well. So we have in this house, obviously, a married couple who their kids are growing up. So they're kind of like, all right, we're starting to have time to ourselves again. What do we do? And so they're just focusing on rekindling the love that never really died. It's just that they haven't had a whole lot of time for each other romantically, and so they're starting to make that time again. So that's that concept. And then for the other household, it is a widowed father who is kind of also in that what does life mean now that my kids have grown up and left the house. So he's just kind of rediscovering himself. He's a musician and he's, you know, he's on his own for the first time in probably 20 years. So he's like, all right, I have to figure out how to be a person. So it's also exploring him being a person and whether that involves finding love again or if that just means finding friends and passion. I don't know. We will see how that one goes. And then the teenager obviously is going to be working on finishing high school. Eventually, will also be in university. And the goal is to play through the 4 years of university for the two young adults who sort of tie the whole story together. And just see where that takes it. They might end up best friends or enemies or lovers. It'll kind of go how it goes. I do have a loose outline for about 20 episodes. I feel like that's about how long I want it to be. And then from there, I will decide if it's like, I want to keep playing in this save, or if it's more like, okay, time to come up with a different story. But that's sort of where I'm at. And I'm excited about it. I'm thinking a lot about it, and I'm excited. So that is the plan. And because I'm hoping to start that in a couple weeks here, I'm just posting all of the speed builds in one. I didn't go super hard on them because I didn't want to have one super long video. So being able to keep this under half an hour long is good. That's where we want it to be. Um but yeah, so that's what we've got. And right now, obviously, I'm just putting things and stuff in the backyard, making it feel lived in. I definitely didn't go as hard on clutter as I would have liked to have, but I'm still pretty happy with it. Did I give them chickens? Of course I gave them chickens. I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure that will not cause me problems during gameplay at all. To remember to take care of chickens. Cool. I love remembering stuff. Um, but yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be fun. I hope you will join me. And as long promised, finally following through, I will be releasing an extended, unedited version of each episode, or like barely edited if there's stuff that I'm like, no, I need to take this out. Um, I will be releasing extended editions as well as being early access editions for my paid subscribers over on Ko-fi. So that will be fun. I have heard you and that this is something you would want and enjoy. So, longer video it is. And if you want to hear me re-say the same sentence 15 times before giving up and picking a different word, then hey, consider subscribing. I think early access tiers start at $5 a month. So, if you want, if you'd like. um so that will also be quite fun. And also it's a nice like low stress sort of incentive for me to put as like a supporter reward, because then it's not like, oh, I have to put on a full extra production. It's like, you guys just want the raw footage. That's great. I can do that. I can finish recording and then just export it right to YouTube. That sounds wonderful, actually. So, yeah, we're doing some landscaping, a little combo of island living and for rent in the landscaping department, because I noticed a lot of the debug landscaping from for rent has a lot of the stuff that we see around Sulani. So I was like, all right, yeah, this definitely fits. Their biomes are probably close to each other in some way. So, lots of that. And now we are moving into the second build, which is in Copperdale. Oh, wow, I forgot the name of that world. It's in Copperdale. It's on the little tiny lot. And I would say I was expecting the house to be like harder to fit in. It ended up being pretty much fine. Um when I was sorting through the footage, I thought that this lot and the Tomarang lot were the same one. I'm that's how my brain's doing, because they were both kind of waterfront, and I'm like, why did I start the build over? No, it's a different build, Cecil. It's okay. But yeah, so this is the house with the single father and his now adult daughter, who is moved away for university. Um and he is living in this house alone. He is a musician. He's going to figure out how to be a person, and it'll be a good time. um I'm picturing kind of like hippie vibes, like the kind of love the earth and just I don't know how to describe it, but like just kind of holistic living type chill vibes hippie. That's really just the best word that I've got for it, huh? So that's kind of what I imagine, but it's still nice and cozy and familial in here. Yeah, very excited to play through this story in particular, because I feel like it's not it's not a type of story that I explore very often. Like, I've had some older siblings raising their younger sibling type things, and like the standard that you'd expect, but I've never really played with like a single parent after the kid has moved out sort of thing. So I'm excited to explore that sort of story. It will be a good time. Of course, this was not originally supposed to be my first video of the year. I had other stuff that was supposed to go up before this, but January ended up being the actual worst. So here we are. And I will be posting what's actually supposed to be the first video on this channel for this year on Saturday. So they'll be kind of close together, but that is fine. It's my like wish list for stuff that I want in The Sims 4 in 2025 slash the general incoming future sort of thing. So that'll be fun. I have started working on a PowerPoint presentation. Thrilled to give that to you guys. It's it's mostly serious with a little bit of nonsense, and all of it is for the most part nonsensical seriousness, if that makes sense. Because it's The Sims. How could it be anything else? I have been thinking so hard about like the events that they've done because I know they're going to be doing another like login event. I don't know yet if it's going to be a if it's going to be quest based or just login based like the original one. I kind of hope, since it's the one for the 25th anniversary, I kind of hope it's just login based because I just it feels like probably I feel like for the 25th or yeah, 25th anniversary of the franchise, I feel like they've got to make it as low effort as possible. And I feel like if they do that in the format of a quest, it's going to be so boring. Like I just I think about cozy celebrations, and it's that quest line had potential to be a little more interesting, and it just wasn't, unfortunately. Like, it simply was not as interesting as I wish it had been. So that's, and like, I like the idea of going around town and asking Sims about like what are their holiday traditions and all that stuff. That was great. But in practice, it just the answers weren't varied enough, and then the quests were so short, which is like good, but it didn't feel like very much. I don't know. It didn't feel like a story the way that Reaper Rewards did. And I like the rewards that we got in Cozy Celebrations. Like, I love that we have a little GameCube now. That's so cute. And I love the bushes. That's one of my favorite types of items in this game. Item that we already have, but a little different. I love having some base game bushes that now have fairy lights on them. I think that's great. Wonderful addition. Could not have asked for more. I love the scarf. I like that we got a new trait, but it wasn't a very. I don't know how I feel about the trait itself. Because it's like, it's supposed to be like a Grinch type vibe, except there's not holidays in the base game. So it's not like it can really be Grinch. So they're like, oh, they just do mischief. But because it's called Grouch, it's like, what kind of mischievous grouches do we like? Wait, this doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I don't like it very. I don't love it, but it's free stuff, you know. I like so far what I've seen for the rewards for the anniversary stuff. The like brief glimpse that we got in the behind the Sims. I like how it looks. I am excited for however we end up coming across it. I don't even know what a quest line for that would necessarily be as well. So that's another thing. Like I can't imagine them doing like a quest that's super interesting necessarily related to the anniversary rewards. I'm not sure what that would end up looking like. So I'm assuming it will just be a sort of login thing like the one over last summer was, which I'm fine with. I I don't know. I love completing a little task, but also sometimes it's nice to just log in and get the thing. So, we'll see. And I know we're getting functional alarm clocks. We already got one with the Cozy Gamer kit. I love that. What I would love even more is if they went in and made more of the alarm looking clocks in the game be functional. I use the Sunrise Alarm Clock mod by Lot 51, which is amazing. Cannot recommend enough. But, like, it would be nice for console players to also have more options in regards to that. Like the high school years, little toaster alarm clock. It would make sense for that to be a functional alarm clock, you know? We're moving into the townhouses now, and I will be trying to split everything 50-50 as much as I can. So you will see that sort of occurring. We've got some balconies upstairs as well, which I quite like. And yeah, so that's what we're doing now. Did I put a chimney on both of them? I mean, I guess. Why not? I also can't remember if I ended up deciding to keep it as a regular residential or a residential rental. I cannot remember what decision I made. I know when I play it, I'm going to keep it as just a regular residential because I don't want to deal with swapping between even more households, especially since there's stairs. So even though it's really easy to just click on the door, I've noticed that the stairs seem to break when I switch between households in a multi-level, multi-unit type of thing. And I don't know. Maybe they fixed that. That was like literally the day that For Rent came out that I noticed that bug. But like, I have trust issues when it comes to this game, so I'm not going to hold my breath about it. But yeah. So gonna keep this particular part of the build is pretty bland because I'm thinking they've barely moved in, if at all, by the time that we're starting. So there's not going to be a lot of personality and clutter. There's just going to be like the bare bones of the townhouses. And then through gameplay, they will start to get more personalized and more decorated. So that's sort of the plan in that regard. And yeah. And then I put a shared kitchen in between so they can still access each other's spaces technically from the inside of the building. But I think they'll probably respect one another's spaces and not do that for the first while. Because, like, you know, you're living with someone you don't know. It's kind of like over time you might become friends, but at first you just kind of give everybody their own space. But yeah, so we've got like living space and whatnot in the downstairs, and then we've got like the bedroom and the bathroom upstairs. I might have put laundry in here, but I don't remember. Did I? Does that? I don't know. Sorry, now I'm just watching. I built these for reference late October, early November. So, much like you, I'm really seeing this for the first time. Yeah, I also wanted to give them some like outdoor balcony space because this is also a pretty small lot and I wanted them to have like a little bit of an outside, even if it's not as outside-y as a backyard. So the balcony spaces felt like a must. But yeah. I do like their little space though. We've got a bunch of the cheap city living. So like the used version of some of these things. So they're extra grungy and college apartment core. So I like it. I like it a lot. I'm excited for the vibes, for the storytelling, to play with University. And I will be doing this series on a modded long lifespan so that I have as much time as possible to like keep the flow of the story where I would want it to be, without feeling rushed by aging up, but without turning aging all the way off, because I still want there to be like some constraints in that regard. I don't know if that makes sense. I generally don't like to turn aging off completely, which might be weird, but I like to have measurable time moving. I just want to be in more control of all of that. But I am so looking forward to a couple weeks from now introducing you to all of these Sims and just, I don't know. It's been a while since I've made them, so I'll also be reintroducing myself to them. And I'm ready. I'm excited. Oh yeah, so I made them like little closet spaces and then was trying to figure out like how I wanted to do that. I think we ended up going with some sort of mirror. I don't know. But I do like the little hanging closet space because there wasn't a very good place to like squeeze a dresser in necessarily. So I do like that. And then I just put like what I would figure is just some cheap like setup furniture type of thing. Um and then we've got radiators which I hadn't played with really before today. I do now know how, or before today, before making this video, I do now, like, I have played with them a little more, so I understand now that you do need the radiator physically in the room in order for it to apply heat. But yeah, so I will probably adjust that a little bit to make sure that all of the rooms have access to heating because I do plan on starting the save in the autumn. So, because like that's when the school year starts. I know it doesn't matter in The Sims, but it matters to me. And that's all that really matters. Oh my goodness, this dinky little office cabinet space. It looks like it was a walk-in closet that got converted into an office space. I can just imagine the landlords for this place. I'm yeah. But again, I don't think I'll actually give them a landlord because that just sounds like a pain. We are coming up on the end of the video, so if you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys again soon, and I can't wait to start playing with these families and these stories for all of you. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.